Hi everyone, it's Stacy. Thank you for coming on this yoga leap with me. Welcome to anyone new who's joining us here through the video for the first time. Welcome back to those of you who have been practicing with me and these videos for however long now. As you can see, I have my chair here behind me. I will offer some cues for the chair, but I'm mostly going to be staying on the ground today, on the floor, on the mat. We're going to be focusing in on just some big juicy stretches. We are here in the third week of January, and we will spend a bit of time doing a warm up and then spending some time just stretching it out and just trying to get through this third week of January. I don't know where you are. We here in Ontario are buried under snow still, which is good and bad, but definitely craving some warmth and some big juicy stretches and a bit of slower movement. So if you're ready to get started, I'll meet you back on the mat here and we'll get going. I've got my yellow shirt on and my yellow mat, and I don't know if you can see it, but my yellow couch. It's basically my favorite colors. I hope you can see me. I hope I'm not blending in too much, although when I lie down that might happen. But I've also got this sparkly heart over my heart space, so hopefully that will shine and keep me from fading into the yellow background too much. That said, we're going to start lying down or seated in your chair. So whatever you feel most comfortable with, go ahead and start making your way there. But don't use too many props other than the chair. If you do have blocks or a strap or a bolster or a blanket or anything that you want to use for the practice today, by all means, go ahead and grab those now. Otherwise, I'll just meet you on the floor, lying down on our backs. And I've also kept socks on today. I'm just feeling a little cold, so do what you need to do for the practice. Make your way down to your back or seated comfortably in your chair. And you can start, of course, with knees bent. Maybe you just want to walk the feet wide, let the knees knock in. Or, of course, you can always extend the legs long to begin the practice. I'm going to keep mine bent today. Doing this just takes a little pressure off the low back. Hands can rest gently in your lap or over top of heart center. One hand on belly or heart center, or maybe even just down by your sides. Again, depending on how you're choosing to begin your practice. So wherever we are, let's just settle in here. Take a few breaths, maybe sigh it out, let it go, and try and find the energy of just being present and grounded in your practice here and now. Try to take a few deep breaths. Let it go. No real rules or expectations here. We just want to try to, like I said, let go of all the thoughts of, oh, I wish I had done this, and all the thoughts of, oh, I still need to do this, and just focus on being here and now. So whatever kind of breath work you need to get there. That might be a few deep breaths with a loud sigh, or just nice, deep, slow, smooth breaths, nice and quiet in your own space, depending on whatever you need. Find a few more quiet breaths here, and then start to turn our attention to our bodies. Now, noticing where we're being supported by either the chair or the floor, our mats, any props we might be using. If we have a blanket over top of us, maybe noticing the weight of the blanket against our bodies as well. So just tapping into those physical sensations. Notice where our bodies might be feeling heavy. Notice where our bodies might be feeling light. Notice as well any areas that we feel any discomfort. And sort of contrast that with any areas that we're thinking feel exceptionally great in our bodies. And just send the breath between those points of contact and lightness, heaviness and lightness, dis-ease and ease. Just really tapping into all the parts of our body and our breath. And then starting to tap into just sort of our mental state. Try to notice what kind of thoughts we're having without controlling them, just notice them. Let them pass through. Then maybe even using one of those thoughts or using a counter thought to create a little motto or mantra for the practice. So for me, for example, if I'm feeling a bit like my mind is racing, I might want to grab a counterbalancing kind of thought. Like I'm moving slowly through molasses or anything of the sort, just to add an additional tool to help us stay present in our practice here today. So let's stay here with our body, our breath, and our mottos for a few more rounds. And then whether the eyes are closed or open, it doesn't really matter. Just starting to wake up the body, wiggling through fingers and toes a little bit, maybe circling wrists and ankles. And if the knees aren't bent, maybe bend them. So walk the knees in. We'll flow through a gentle bridge. So if you're in the chair, I'll demonstrate an option, but really there's going to be a lot of just sort of lifting the legs and bending the legs if you're in the chair. We're just starting to create a bit of movement. That's the main goal here. If we're on the floor, let's take our palms down, turn down towards the mat. Our feet are about hip distance, and then we're going to press into the hands and feet, squeeze the bum and lift the hips up. Nice and easy, gentle bridge on the inhale here so that we're creating a big open front side body. And then exhale as we round down. So inhale to lift and open. And exhale to soften down. So keep with that flow, and I'll just demonstrate another option in the chair. If you're in your chair, you don't need to turn it sideways, but maybe your bridge option might look like scooching to the edge of the chair, planting the hands against the seat of the chair, and then finding a bit of a supported bridge here in and off the chair. On and off the chair, like this. So that's just an option. Otherwise, options in the chair are going to be a lot of lifting and lowering of the legs. We'll be maybe doing some cat-cows where you can lift and open the heart space and curl down. So there'll be some options in the chair. I'm going to head back down to the mat. Keep flowing wherever you are. A few more rounds of breath here as we warm up our spine. Maybe just doing a couple of more. And on the exhale, let's lower down. Let's extend our left leg long and maybe draw that right knee in towards our body. We can wrap our hands over top of the shin or maybe behind the knee and hug the knee in. So you can do this on the chair as well. Left foot will be down on the floor, and lift and sort of draw that right knee up and towards the chest here. Good, you might want to create some circles with your ankle. Every inhale, you'll feel the belly sort of expand and it will press the knee away from the body. And then as we exhale, with a bit of arm strength, let's draw the knee in even closer. If it feels a little more comfortable to draw the knee towards the side a little bit more, creating a bit more openness in the hips, go ahead and do that. Inhale, the belly expands, pushes the knee away. Exhale, draw the belly in. And another option here is as we inhale, the belly expands, the knee removes itself from the body. And as we exhale, we're drawing in and maybe curling towards the knee, whether we're on the ground or in the chair. And then inhaling, everything sort of moves away from the center and then draws in as we exhale. So any version, remember option to draw the knee to the side. Just squeeze into the middle, or draw the forehead towards the knee. Let's do 2 more breaths. Inhale, knee floats away. Exhale, draw it in closer. Give it a squeeze. 1 more. Inhale. All right, from here, if our hands aren't already behind, grabbing onto our hamstring, let's go ahead and do that. Let's just start to bring a bit of movement to this leg that's lifted. Just starting to lift the foot up towards the ceiling, creating a bit of heat and movement in the leg here. When it feels like it's getting a bit more lubricated, maybe we can pause up at the top with a straight leg here. And then again, just reconnect behind the leg, either at the hamstring. Maybe we can walk our hands up our legs, find calf, ankle, or foot, and see if we can start to draw the knee. But first, take a big inhale, the knee will move away, the leg will move away. And then exhale, draw it in. Try to keep it relatively straight. We're making it a little bit different from that first move where the leg is bent. Inhale, try to find some length. Exhale, squeeze in. And again, just positioning and sort of drawing the leg where it feels comfortable. Feeling a nice stretch down the back of the leg here. All right, let's inhale. So just create a bit of space between the belly and the leg. Keep the foot up. Find a few more circles if we haven't already done that. All right. Now let's see if we can come to that happy baby. So now, again, either holding on behind the hamstring, maybe the calf, maybe we can even reach up for the foot. And now we will draw the knee out towards the side of the body. So we're coming to this half happy baby. For a little counterbalance, if you need to, straighten the left arm out along the floor. We don't want to be coming up off of our hip. We're still flat on our backs here. This is our half happy baby. Left leg still long along the mat. A little bit of energy in it. So now we're starting to feel a bit of sensation maybe in the left front of the hip. So it's not all about this right leg and hip here now. All right, from here, let's see if we can now bend that left foot. A little bit of core strength to help bend that leg. And we're gonna guide this right foot across and we'll come into our figure 4. So now we're creating this figure 4 position. Right foot is still flexed, it's crossed across that left knee, and the right knee starts to fall open. You might stay here if it's enough, or you might want to reach through for the back of the left leg and draw that left knee in, and now increase that stretch on the outer right hip. In our figure 4, you can stay in stillness, you can maybe rock side to side, whatever feels best here. Try to roll the shoulders down and back, find softness in the face as well. And then if you're looking for more, you may want to even press the right elbow into the right knee to open up more. Now, if you're seated in the chair, you might want to just fold forward over your crossed legs. That is where you'll find the increased stretch sensation if you're seated in your chair. Stay for a few more breaths here. And then let's release the hands, lower the left foot down. We'll uncross the legs, just maybe windshield wiper the knees. So step the feet a little wider, just so you can let the knees sway from side to side. Bring them back to center. And then we'll extend the right leg long along the mat, and we'll try and go through that all on the left side here. So right leg now extends long. And we're going to draw the left leg in, again, reaching behind or on top of the knee. Just giving it a little squeeze here, relax the shoulders down and back, and maybe find some circles with your ankle. Here, whoa, notice if it feels any different on this side. I'm a little more creaky and cracky on this side, it seems. And then let's start to find a bit of an active stretch. So as we inhale, the knee will just sort of draw away as the belly expands, and then exhale, draw the knee in towards the belly. Inhale, the knee moves away from the body. Exhale, draw it in. Now remember, you can draw the knee over to the side a little bit if that creates a bit more space in the hips for you. Keep energy in the right leg that's stretched out along the mat. And then the other option, of course, is to take the inhale and then exhale, lift towards the knee or crunch down towards the knee if you're in the chair. Inhale to expand, exhale, crunch. Or remember, you don't have to, you can just be drawing the knee to the side, to the front, or you can add that crunch. Crunch sounds like a little bit of an awful word. I mean like a squeeze, where you sort of draw up towards the knee or down towards the knee if you're seated in your chair doing this. All right, let's do one more. Take a big inhale. Exhale. Inhale here. Good. This time we'll take a big inhale, draw the knee up, and we'll start to exhale, draw it in, just with bending and straightening the leg here. So now working to find a bit of stretch and movement down the back of the leg. And when it feels like it's loosened up a bit, limber it up, let's leave it up, do a few circles here. Notice how this side's feeling. Does it feel tighter or not as tight as the first side? There's no right or wrong. We're just wanting to notice the sides, the differences here. And let's see if we can find that half happy baby on this side. So maybe our hands are where they already want to stay. Maybe we're going to reach for our calf. Maybe we can reach for our outside of our foot. And again, the right hand now can come out along the floor for counterbalance as we draw the knee down towards the side of our body. Energy down the right leg, so we're feeling a stretch in the front maybe of the right hip flexor here. Still lying flat on our backs, finding happy baby, half happy baby here. Stay for a few breaths. And then we'll engage through the core a little bit as we bend the right leg and flatten the right foot along the floor. And we'll help guide the left flexed foot across the right knee. Left knee will flop open. We're finding ourselves in our figure four on this side. We might stay here, or we might want to reach behind the right leg, draw that right knee in, and really feel a bit more sensation on the outer left hip here. And if you're in the chair, maybe folding forward for a bit more sensation. If you're on the floor, maybe pressing left elbow into left knee for a bit more sensation. But breathing in whatever space and shape we find ourselves in here. Let's take one more breath. Take a big inhale here. As we exhale, let's release the hand, release the right foot down. We'll uncross the left foot, step those feet wide, just windshield wiper one more time. Or maybe if you prefer to flow through a couple of easy bridges to open up whatever feels best for your body here. And then we'll all meet back down on the mat. Now for this next one, let's all stretch our legs out in front of us. Good. To begin with, let's take a big good morning stretch. So reach the fingertips up overhead, reach through the toes and fingers. If you're in the chair, same thing, just reach up towards the ceiling. Maybe straighten the legs, point and flex the toes, just a big good morning stretch. Now we're gonna stay here, let's just soften. If you're seated in the chair, plant both feet on the ground, and you can work with the side bend seated. And I'll demonstrate it in a moment once I set everybody up on the floor here. So from here, we're gonna move it to a banana shape. So if I was in the sky looking down at you, you'd be flat along the floor as we come into this shape. So your back and shoulder blades are gonna stay connected, your hips and glutes stay connected. We're just gonna find a side bend. So we're gonna start by walking left foot over towards the left corner of our mat and left hand over towards the left as well. And then we're gonna start to shimmy our bodies over towards the left as well. Remember, shoulder blades stay grounded. And we'll see if we can also lift this right foot up and cross it over the left. So you can imagine if you're looking down at me, I've shaped a little bit like a C or a banana. Now, if it's possible and you can still stay relaxed through shoulders, maybe the left hand, I'm a little bit out of frame here, maybe the left hand can help guide that right arm over to the left as well. So it's a big, deep side stretch for the right side body. So again, everything's connected to the mat. We're lying flat on our backs. We're just reaching over towards the left in a side bend. Now stay here for a few breaths. I'll demonstrate options in the chair for our banana pose. So seated in our chair here, feet nice and grounded. Our feet might stay connected to the center. We'll reach our arms up. This was our good morning stretch, nice big stretch. And then now, just like on the ground, we're gonna lift this left wrist up and over. So we're creating a big long stretch here all down the right side body. So if I was lying on the floor, this is another option, is standing and jutting the hips out. But this is also what I would look like on the floor, sort of like this banana shape, and I'm lying flat on the floor, or you can picture being flat against the wall if you're standing. Send the hips out as well if you're doing the standing option. If you're in the chair, just reaching up and over through side body. Whew, that's a nice big stretch. I'm gonna head back down to the floor. Find my banana stretch again. And then we're gonna take a couple more breaths and we'll switch sides. All right, let's release everything. Step the feet back through center. Maybe if you want to stretch long, do it one more time. Maybe if you feel like you want to curl into a little ball before we find our banana stretch on the other side, go ahead and do that. And then settle in. Reach the arms up overhead. Walk the right foot to the right corner, right arm out to the right corner, and then see if we can shimmy our bodies over to the right. See if our right hand can grab onto our left wrist, and see if our left foot can cross over the right foot. So now we're in that banana shape flat on the floor, creating a big stretch along the left side body now as we tilt towards the right. Switching sides in the chair, or if you're standing as well, we'll stay for a few breaths in this nice big full body side stretch. Remember to come back to your motto or your mantra, your breath. Notice the differences in the stretches from side to side. Take one more big inhale here. Exhale, and then we'll walk back to center. So we'll walk our hands, our legs, our bodies, everything good. And one more time, stretch long, or maybe curl into a little ball again. If you're curled in a ball, rock side to side. All right, let's release that. If we're on the floor, let's roll over, find ourselves in a tabletop. And I'm just going to turn around here. So for our tabletop, we're going to stack our wrists under shoulders, knees under our hips. We'll do a few cat-cows. If you're in the chair, find your cat-cow. Exhale to round. Do one more. Round through the spine here. Good. Take an inhale, find neutral spine, sit back, find a child's pose. So for child's pose on the ground, maybe even walking the knees a little bit further apart so we make room for our belly and heart space to float down towards the mat. Lower the forehead. If you're in the chair, just fold forward over the legs. Let the head hang heavy. Find a couple breaths here. Breathe into the backside body now. We've been on our backs for the beginning of this whole practice. Now our backs are nice and exposed. Let's breathe into them. All right, from here, let's lift the forehead, come back up to our tabletop, and we're going to come into our gate pose. So for this, a couple of options. We're going to be coming onto our knees. If your mat isn't thick and it hurts your knees, you might want to put a towel or double up your mat a little bit. Mine's a little bit thick to do that, but you can sort of pinch your mat and double it up, because we're going to come up to our knees here. I'm going to turn to the front in a minute. We're going to stay grounded on our right knee, and we're going to step the left leg out. So let's turn from the side. We're up on our knees. We might have padding under our knees here. We're going to stay grounded in this right knee, and we're going to step the the left foot out to the side. Toes are facing forward. Tilt the hips so that we're stacking the hips over the knee. And again, if this is too much on the knee, no problem. Put something under the knee to support you, or we can do some side stretches, maybe sitting down on the leg, or if that's even too much, just coming to seated, and we can do some side stretches this way. Now in the chair, it's the same thing. If you're seated in your chair, it won't be on your knee, obviously, but we'll step the left foot out to the side, right foot and leg are being supported by the chair, and we'll come into our side stretches this way on the chair. Okay, I'm going to come back down to the floor. So we're coming into our gate pose here. So if we're on our right knee, let's take a big inhale here. Let's let the left arm find the left leg. The right arm's reaching up, so we're already finding a nice side stretch here. Inhale one more time, and this time as we exhale, bending over towards the left outstretched leg. Squeeze the bum. Really make sure that the heart space is facing forward, not it collapsing into the side here. We're looking for a big side stretch. Awesome. Stay for a couple breaths. The gaze can be down, looking forward, or maybe even looking up under the arm, depending on your balance and how you're feeling today. Stay for another breath. On the inhale, come back up through center, reach up. On the exhale, let's see if we can come all the way over to the right side. Now you might want to have a block here and land the right hand on a block. Maybe you can come all the way down to the floor. Maybe another way to use your chair is to use the chair as a prop. And as we come down to the side, we can rest our forearm on the chair. This is a nice option as well. So all of these props, whether it's a block or the chair, are just bringing the floor up to you. We're still looking for a nice stretch down left side body. Remember to squeeze the bum, spin the heart space forward. Awesome. Let's flow with a few breaths here. Let's inhale through center and exhale over. Inhale through center, exhale over, finding the prop, the chair, the block, or even the floor. Move with your breath for a couple more rounds. Let's go over to this side one more time. And this side last time here. Good. Inhale through center. As we exhale, our hands can come down through heart center. Maybe we even come all the way down and roll onto our glutes. Okay, awesome. Let's open up both legs, find a wide leg forward fold, and then we'll switch sides. We just want to find something through center to rinse out the spine a little bit, to recalibrate, since we've been doing a lot of side bending. And let's come up through center, and we'll set ourselves up for the other side. So now, any way that feels nice and safe, you can come through cat-cow, a few rounds of cat-cow in our tabletop. Again, just to recalibrate the spine. Making sure we're moving it in lots of directions, coming through neutral on your next inhale here. Good, and then up onto our knees. Make any adjustments you need underneath your knees, and I'm just gonna move my chair over to the side. You can just either, depending on what kind of chair or prop you have, move the chair to the side, or walk around to the other side of your chair, depending on what kind of chair you have. It might not be easy to just throw your chair around your living room, I'm not sure. And then we'll set up for the other side. So now we're gonna stay grounded through that left knee, remember, and we'll step our right foot out to the side, toes are pointing forward, option to come down, to sit in your chair, or come right onto the sit bones if it's too much to be up on your knee. So a few options here for our gate pose. Let's inhale, reach the arms up, reach on the inhale, exhale, the right arm finds the right leg, inhale one more time, and then exhale, find our side stretch over to the right. So same thing here, squeeze the bum, rotate the heart, find a comfortable place for your gaze, and stay for 3 big rounds of breath here. Really feeling a big side stretch, heart open. Find one more breath, inhale and exhale. On the next inhale, we'll come up through center, reach, and then same thing, let's tip over towards the left, either finding chair, block, or floor, and finding the opposite side stretch from the toes all the way to the fingers here. Stay for a couple breaths. Gaze, same thing here. It could be up under the arm, it can be looking forward, or it can be down at your support hand or prop, wherever feels best for you. Stay for 2 more breaths. Heart space spinning open, 1 more breath, squeeze the bum. On the next inhale, let's come up through center, and now we'll just flow with the breath for a few rounds. Inhale to come up, exhale. Awesome, let's go to this side. We'll do 1 more on each side. Inhale to reach up, exhale over. 1 more, last time on this side. Let's inhale all the way up through center. Reach, hands through heart center, lower the hips down. Make your way off of your shin onto your sit bones, and we'll come into a forward fold again. This time though, we'll come into our butterfly. So let's draw soles of the feet together, sit up nice and tall on the sit bones. Option to create as big or as little of a space here, so you can draw your ankles and heels in towards your sit bones as much as you'd like, or if you're looking for something a little gentler, make a bit of a bigger V here. Take a big inhale here, reach the heart space forward, and with a nice long spine, we can start to hinge forward. Your hands are wherever it feels comfortable. Maybe you're holding onto ankles, maybe you're giving your soles of the feet a massage, maybe you've got your peace fingers in between the toes. Let's all roll the shoulders back, heart space reaches forward as we hinge with a long spine forward. So we're trying to sort of dive over the end of the toes, wherever they are. So find the edge. The edge is where you can't go any further without kind of rounding through your spine. Stay there. Notice where you're noticing the stretch. Spend a couple of breaths. And then either stay or go ahead and melt down. Now round through the spine. Open up the shoulder blades. Breathe into the backside body. All right, let's lift the forehead, come on back up. And now we're gonna either come into fire log, or we can come into easy cross leg or lotus or half lotus. So it's a little bit more stretching as we sit here. So the option I want to demonstrate is fire log. So in the chair, it'll be very similar to your figure 4. You're just gonna cross 1 foot over the knee, the other foot planted straight on the ground. Now, if you wanna come into fire log with me on the ground, the main difference between it, lotus and half lotus, which is where we're pulling our heel in towards our hip crease, is we want to stack the ankle over the knee. So we've created space here, and you'll notice my knee is nowhere near touching my foot, but what you will also notice is my shins are stacked like fire log. So it's called fire log pose for that reason. So it's kind of like this in your legs. It's super intense. If it's too much, just find an easy cross-legged position, or if half lotus or lotus is more comfortable for you. If you're here and it still feels a little intense and you have some kind of pillow or prop, you can always rest that sort of underneath the right leg here, the right leg, which is the one on top, or put it in between, just so that you can sort of feel the release. Because if your leg is just floating there, it's going to feel like, oh, where should I be headed? What am I doing? So the block or the prop will help you be able to release into the stretch. Oh, that was a lot of cueing to get in there. So wherever we are, sitting up nice and tall, hands just resting, either helping guide the legs into the posture, or maybe resting hands at heart center. Or option is to add a bit of an arm stretch. So right leg on top, we can take our right arm across our body and find a tricep stretch. So again, if your leg is just floating there, this might all be too much. So maybe opt out of the arms, stick a prop to help let the body relax a bit. There's a lot going on. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll find a couple more breaths. Let's take one more breath and then we'll unwind a bit. All right, let that one go. Release any props. Lean back so that the fingers face out to the side or face forward, and we'll just windshield wiper the legs here a little bit as well. Ooh, and then we'll go to the other side. All right, let's push ourselves back up and we'll swap sides. So this time we'll be stacking our left leg on top. We're gonna stack ankles and knees, and as always, props are available here. So we know this side might feel very different. You might be like, oh, this leg is way up high or way lower, and that's okay, that's normal. Just notice it, notice what you need for this side. It might be different from the first side. And then staying here with or without your prop, and then choosing to sweep the left arm across and just guide it gently with the right hand as well. Just hand, or I just sort of hooked my arm into my elbow to help guide it into a bit of a shoulder and tricep stretch here. Sitting up nice and tall. If this is not enough for you in your stretch, you can start to lean forward as well to increase the stretch in the fire log portion of the stretching. For most people, this is a pretty intense one. There's no need to be adding any depth to the stretch. All right, let's find a quiet breath here. Take one more big inhale. On the exhale, let's release, unwind, lean back. Same thing here, one more time. Let's windshield wiper the legs. And option here to come into a reverse tabletop. In the chair, it will look very similar to that bridge we did at the beginning, where the hands will be resting on the back of the chair. And then we can all press our feet into the ground, lift the hips up, open up through the front side body, lift, 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 lift. If it feels okay, you can let the head hang back. Otherwise, just pretend you're squeezing a small orange between the chin and the chest. Take one more breath, squeeze and press. And then lower down and press ourselves up over one more time into either a wide leg forward fold or a butterfly like I've chosen. And then we'll come up. Awesome. All right. Whew. Lots of stretching. Let's do a little bit more before we round out our practice with a final Shavasana. So let's all just bring our feet straight out in front. So we've done a lot of sort of hip and outer and inner hip and inner thigh. Let's get back into the back of the legs here. So sitting up nice and tall, sit bones grounded. Take a big inhale, sweep the arms up, and with this long straight spine, as if you're made of a piece of plywood, start to hinge forward. Let the hands come down to support you. Keep the spine long for a moment. Flex the toes back towards the face and notice where we're feeling this stretch. This is back of the legs stretching. If you're in the chair, just scooch to the edge of the chair and you can stretch out one leg at a time. I'll demonstrate. So if you're here on the floor, stay here, find a few breaths. In your chair, sometimes it can feel not so stable to have both legs out. So scooch to the edge of the chair lean forward using the knee as a support here, hinge forward, find a stretch down one leg, and then switch sides after a few breaths. I'll stay here for this stretch. If you're on the floor, stay for a couple more breaths as those of us in the chair switch sides. And since I'm in, let's come out of that and just wait for me to catch up with you on the floor. And since I'm in the chair, I'll just demonstrate the quad stretch that we're going to move into, or a variation for the chair at least. So we're going to come into a bit of a quad stretch on the floor as well. In the chair, the option might be to scooch to the side of the chair or turn around so that you can have one leg kind of free and step it back and hold on to the chair for support. Again, depending on what kind of chair you have, you might want to hold on to like the side or the bottom of it and see if you can reach back and find a bit of a ankle grab and a quad stretch by drawing the knee down towards the floor. So it's going to be kind of straight up and down, nice and tall through the chest, so you're not just dumping into the low back. If that's too much, option to just step the foot back, tilt the pelvis, feel the quad stretch, just like this. And then we'll switch sides. On the floor, let's make our way down to our bellies or sides. So come out of your forward stretch here, option to make our way down to our sides and find the quad stretch on our side, or coming into a bit of a half bow from the belly. So to stretch the left quad, let's bring the right arm in front, make it parallel to the short edge of the mat here, belly grounded. Tilt the hip bones down towards the mat, lift the foot up towards the ceiling, same hand reaches back, and see if we can grab onto foot or ankle here and just draw that ankle towards the knee. No need to lift up, we're working on a quad stretch here. So just feel that. And again, from the side, it will look very similar. It will just be resting on the side and trying to keep the knees together here if we're on the side. So it's not forward or pulling too far back or floating up in the sky. Try to pretend like the legs are being zipped together. Squeeze the bum, find your quad stretch. Ooh, I find that tough on the support hip. I like this version better, and we'll all stay for 2 more breaths. Let's gently release that foot. Bring the arms in front, lower the forehead. Just step the feet wide, shake out the hips. You're all alone in your yoga space. No one's looking. Shake it out any way that feels good. And then set up for the other side, whether we're in the chair, switching sides, on our mat on our side, and we're rolling onto the other hip. Maybe you're not facing the camera anymore, no problem. Or we're still here, coming into half bow with our arm parallel to the short edge of the mat. We're bending right foot, pretending we're trying to step on the ceiling. Right hand reaches back to grab ankle or foot, and then just sort of gently pressing and pulling the heel towards the glutes, finding that stretch. Again, if you're on the side, you might be here. And if you're in the chair, swap sides. Keep the knees drawing together, especially if you're on the side. Few more breaths. And when we're ready, let's release that foot. Same thing, one more time. Lower the forehead, shake the hips out. Let's lift the forehead, bring our hands down by our sides, press ourselves up and back to child's pose, just to counter a little bit of those back bends and that quad stretch, and really just to relax and breathe. If you're in the chair, folding forward over the legs. And then we'll lift the forehead here, and we'll bring ourselves up to seated. Or if you would also like to finish in a lying down Shavasana, that is an option. But since I started lying down, I'm going to choose to finish my practice in a seated meditation. You do you, whatever will allow you to really relax and absorb all the benefits of the practice. If you're seated in your chair, sit up nice and tall. Maybe even if you can, without being too sleepy, let the back of the chair do a bit of the work for you. Try to maintain some postural elements so that you don't just fall asleep. So we'll settle in here, however and whatever shape works for you. Maybe you have a blanket over you. Maybe you have props underneath your low back or your knees. Maybe you're choosing to keep eyes open or closed, but finding a gentle, soft, still spot in front of you to rest your gaze if you're keeping eyes open. And beginning to just scan the body. Notice if there are any areas you're still holding on to, any tension. And maybe just breathe a little loving kindness that way. See if you can't just let it go. Shavasana is the time for our physical and energetic bodies to absorb all that good work we just did and turn it into something magical. It's a time for integration and rest. And know that rest is different from sleep, and that we need both every day, and we should never pass up an opportunity to just rest and do nothing. Now, of course, the beauty of practicing through the video lens is you can stay exactly as you are for as long as your body wants or needs. Simply let the video play out or press pause now. And if you're ready to wake up the body, get on with your day or night, start to wiggle through fingers and toes, maybe circle wrists and ankles. And maybe choosing to find a big stretch along the mat or in your seat, or choosing to curl into a little ball. Just before finding yourselves in a comfortable seated position, so that we can all take a big breath together. Inhale, sweep our hands up overhead. Exhale, draw our hands down through heart center. You can stop keeping your hands at prayer. You can rest hands over heart center or drop them down to your lap, whatever feels best for you here. I want to thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart for allowing me into your personal private yoga practice spaces and for allowing me to guide you through these movements today. I hope you have a wonderful week ahead. And until we get a chance to float together again, take care. Thank you, everyone. Oh, that is exactly what my body needed. I hope that yours did too. I hope you enjoyed the flow. Please drink lots of water, be safe, enjoy some sunshine, and I'll see you here again next week. Take care. Bye.